A 1000cc GSX-R has 6 gears. You know what else has 6 gears? My bicycle. Yeah, boy! That's how I roll. He doesn't even look.
Hey boys and girls, M13 here. I wanted to use my GoPro, I couldn't find the mount. I'm using my older camera, so. This is the Force. This is not the same Force that I'm usually riding. This is a different Force. Speaking of which, I have video. A friend of mine crashed my Force, and I don't have. And he gave me the video footage, which I have yet to check. It's in my wallet. I gave it to me like 3-4 days ago. I just keep forgetting. So if I'm reviewing this video, remember to check the crash footage of my scooter. My scooter, and see how she came around that corner? That was quick. To come around a corner that you can't see around like that, that's really quick. And all these idiots on motorcycles don't have their lights on. He's old, so there's no hope for him. Young people, you can kind of talk to them about it. It's so amazing how people will not change their beliefs. If they've grown up not having their headlights on during the day, no matter how much I explain to them, and it's really simple. They did surveys. Cars on a nice sunny day. This is not a nice sunny day, but I'm waving my hand anyways. There's me in the mirror. Hi, mirror, me. See, this is my regular light. That's the high beam. It doesn't look that different right now because the angles are wrong, but trust me, it's bright. Cars that use their high beam. No, sorry. Not high beams. Cars that put their headlights on, like this truck here, his headlights are off. Cars that put their headlights on a nice sunny day are 20 times, is it 20 or 8? I think it's 8. 8 times less likely to have an accident. 8 times less likely to have an accident. That is so huge. You're 800% safer by just flicking a switch. And yet, I've talked to people here and I'm like, yeah, that's a car. Heck. Oh, this lady has lights on. Good. You're good. She's ignoring me. Everyone ignores me. Show me. Everyone ignore me. So, for example, I'm off topic. There's something wrong with me today. I'll get to that later. There's something wrong with me every day, but specifically today, I'm going to be a bit abnormal for this video, and I'll explain that at some point. This nice, look at these little houses. They're like neat. I bet you they're really inexpensive too. That guy's playing Pokemon Go. Yeah, for example, buses, large buses in Taiwan all have their headlights on all day, every day. They're the only type of, I don't know, the only vehicle, the only type of whatever that has a rule that they have to have their lights on. Why? Why is the only person who always rides their headlights on in Taiwan buses? Because the companies figured out the buses crash less when they put their headlights on. So they save money in the long run. They got to pay more for bulbs, you know, but they save money on insurance payments and crashes and paying out to other people. So to reiterate, a gigantic bus needs its headlights on to know that for people to see them in the day. Because without their headlights off, that means that some people will not see them. Totally on topic. See this truck right here, the white truck, and the truck before that? I recently was riding on a narrow street, and I pulled into the narrow street, and I was kind of riding in the middle of the street because it was narrow, and I did not see the gigantic white truck coming straight at me. Like this car, can you see his headlights? He's got his headlights on. I saw him when he was like 2 miles behind me. But yeah, it was actually, it wasn't a close call, but it was a minorly close call. It was a close enough call for me to give the guy the finger and to follow him for a bit because I wanted to explain to him about headlights. That's how close of a call it was. And we're talking about a giant white semi-truck. And the reason was is because white isn't white. White is gray. And guess what? Road is gray. And guess what? This house is also gray. So I guess my brain perceived the giant grayish rectangle as maybe a house in the distance or something. My brain just didn't realize it was a moving vehicle. And it was a semi-trailer coming head on at me, and I was kind of just riding straight at it, not realizing it was there. It was very possible that what I could have done, and once I pulled onto that side street and my brain had recognized there's nothing on the street, that I could have looked to the side and went, oh look, the flowers are growing in or something, and then boom, straight onto a fucking semi-trailer that I somehow did not notice. And I'm a pretty observant guy. You guys know that because I'm constantly going off topic about all the random things around me. I didn't see it. And it was a grayish day. It might have been drizzling, I'm not sure. You know, let's say for the sake of argument, to make me look like not such a total blind person, that it was. It was cloudy out, it was drizzling a little bit, it was a grayish semi-trailer, and his headlights were off, and I did not see him. He just blended in with the road. He was camouflaged. He's gray, the road's gray, houses are gray, the sky's gray. He's camouflaged. So, what were we talking about originally? Headlights, yeah. How people won't change their minds about things, yep. I think my initial topic is cryptocurrencies. It's just funny because, like, okay, here's an example. Some people are just against them. They won't change their mind. They're just like, no, it's a high risk. 8 years people have been saying they don't want to invest any money in bitcoins because they're high risk. And for 8 years, it's been like doubling in value every 3 months on average. I don't know what actually the average is, but it's close to that. In the last 6 months, it's gone up 6 times. So saying it's doubling every 3 months that's definitely a possible average. So yeah, and it's insane. And you know, people and yet people are still saying no, I wouldn't. It's high risk. For 8 years, people have been saying it's at higher risk, and for 8 years, it's just been doubling the amount of money. And people are still, you know, and obviously, well, actually, it's not obviously, but like even I would say now, yeah, it's so high now. But this is a crazy thing. Back when Bitcoin was $1,000 each, people are like, what? It's more than $1,000 now? That's insane. It's gonna crash. It's way too high. It's too late. I missed the bubble. It's too late to invest. And then it reached 2,000. You know, same thing. Oh, it's way too late now. Oh, it's not gonna go any higher. It's up to $12,000 now and climbing daily with no foreseeable stopping. And people are still saying, well, it broke 10,000. There's no way it's gonna. You know, some people are saying Bitcoins are going to reach $1 million each in the next 3 years. So fast forward 3 years into the future, Bitcoin's $1 million each, and that's just a common fact that everyone knows. And then you're looking back on the people back when it was $12,000. And literally I'm not telling you to invest in Bitcoin, because who knows what it's going to do, right? But it's just crazy how for the last 8 years, people have just been saying it's high risk. Where's your proof of that? At what point did Bitcoin lose everyone their money, other than that Mt. Gox? There was a website that people stored their Bitcoins in, and then the website kind of just disappeared and stole everyone's coins. So yeah, depending on where you store it, that could be high risk. But the same is said for cash. If you keep your cash in your fridge, if your life savings is in your fridge and someone robs it, does that mean, oh, money's high risk? I know a guy who lost his money. You shouldn't invest in money. What? So yeah, I'm really going all over. Has anyone figured out what's wrong with me today? Cocaine. I'm on like so much of it. No, just kidding. I'm kidding. Actually, like I'm actually surprised by how. Because, like, I'm not faking this. This isn't fake energy. I'm really energetic. Do you know why I'm energetic? I'll tell you. Oh, no, let's save that for the next video. It's a different topic. Okay, let's go back to cryptocurrencies and whatnot. So, here's the thing. I got a friend of mine, a close friend, and he was backpacking around Europe, and he had very little money. And he was, like, kind of budgeting, like, spend $500 a month kind of thing, and his money ran out. And unfortunately for him, it ran out while he was in Asia. He was in like Korea at the time, I think, and so he's got no money. Zero. And so he pawns his laptop, so he gets like $1,000 or something. So now he's got some money. So then he starts using his phone to Google how to make money. What are the easiest ways, quickest ways to make money right now? And he comes across cryptocurrencies and whatnot. So he studies it, and this is the important part. He studies it for like 2 weeks, 10 hours a day. So he invests 140 hours of study into this, and then he decides, yeah, okay, I can do this. So he takes his $1,000, and let's just make a long story short. Let's fast forward. That was 6 months ago. He's now worth about roughly $250,000. He made $250,000 in 6 months, and he had a really bad start because he only had $1,000 to start with. If he had had $10,000 to start with, he would have about $2.5 million today if he'd made the exact same investment scaled up. It's insane. It's insane. And yeah, so it's just, and then people, I'm telling people about this. Check this out. This is how crazily stupid people are. I said to a friend of mine, here, why don't you take some of your money and invest it with him? He'll invest it. He takes a cut of the earnings, and he'll give you back whatever you make. And then this is the crazy part. I said to my friend, if he loses your money, I'll cover the difference. In other words, give my buddy who's making $100,000 or $50,000 a month or whatever profit on investments each month. Give him $1,000 of your money and see what he can do with it. Give him $1,000. If he loses some of it, and he's not going to lose it all, well, it's very highly unlikely. He's never lost all of any investment. But if he loses like 10%, 20% on an investment, I'll give you the $1,000 back, and I'll give you the extra 100 or 200. I'll cover it. That's how much trust I have in this guy. So to reiterate, invest $1,000. Be guaranteed the absolute least you'll get back is the same amount, with a chance of getting 10 times more back, getting 10 grand back. How many of you people watching this video would say no to that? Especially if it's a person that you trust telling you, like a family member. This is a very close friend of mine, very, very close friend of mine, pretty much family, that I gave this offer to. Like, they know me, they know I'm good for it. I don't welch on money that I owe ever. And I can afford a couple $100, you know, so that's maybe the most you'd lose. They still refuse. No, it's too risky, too risky. I'm guaranteeing you I'm gonna give you back the same amount. Too risky, too risky. What the f? I gave the exact same offer to a different friend of mine, and I don't start asking me to give you this offer, because I only gave it to my closest friends and family. I gave the exact same offer to a different friend of mine. Give this guy $1,000. Worst case scenario, I'll refund your money. Okay, they gave him $1,000. Fast forward like 2.5 months later, he gave them back 7,000. So they gave him 1,000. He gave them back 7,000, and that's after he took his 20%. Do you guys see? But it blows my mind, because even if I went back to that original person and said, look, I already did it for this other person, they made 7,000, give me $1,000, and I guarantee you I'll give you back at least the same amount, they would still say no. That's how dumb people are. And that's why people, like, no matter how much proof, evidence, research, studies you show them about police officers being corrupt, they won't believe it. People won't believe the government's corrupt. Like, and the government is so obviously corrupt. And there's still plenty of people out there that no matter what the government does, they'll just blindly defend it. They'll be like, oh no, in the long term, it's going to be good. It's going to help the people. Nothing they've done to help the people has helped the people. There's a reason why your parents earn twice as much as you and your grandparents earn twice as much as them. Because every single year, the amount of financial freedom and power that a citizen has is decreased. Go look, like, what countries is it increasing, other than like third world countries that are finally getting out of that hole? That'd be the only place. And even in those countries, it generally doesn't. It's only, even in third world countries that are becoming developed, it's generally only the richest of the rich that are developing, and the poorest are still working 12 hours a day and earning 50 cents an hour. And that's the crazy thing. Like, that could be the future for Canada or America in 30 years, 40 years. Like, your kids could be working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, just to have enough to afford to eat. Because that's literally, if you look at a graph, like how much money people had 60 years ago, how much money they had 30 years ago, how much money they have today, the amount of shit they can buy is less and less and less every single year. It's the same jobs, you know, like 50, 60, 70 years ago, a bus driver could afford to buy a house, 2 cars, pay for his wife, pay for his kids to go to school, and possibly university, on the salary of a single bus driver. How much can a single bus driver pay for nowadays? You know? Oh, that bird had a frog in its mouth. My grandfather, he had no education. He walked into the phone company, the telephone company, off the street, asked them, "Can I get a job?" They gave him a job. He's got over $1 million in the bank. I'm not getting any of it. Yeah, and it's just like that's, you know, and he had a retirement pension. They're taking away pensions nowadays. People work their whole lives in America, and then the company says, "Yeah, we went bankrupt, blah, 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 you're not going to get your pension." So they're 65 years old, and they have to find a job. How messed up is that? Anyways. I have no idea where we are. I have no idea what road we're on. I think I've been talking long enough. I'm going to talk about what drug I'm on right now in the next video. So tune back. I could upload it 10 minutes after this one. No, I won't. I'll upload it in a day or 2. Probably 2 days. Oh, there's a boat. You guys want to go boating? We just got to figure out how to get enough water here to sail away. Do you have to pee, Xiaomei? If we both peed together, we could maybe... No, that wouldn't work. Okay, I'm going to start the next video.